Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Books and Boarding Passes. If you're new here, my name is Taylor, and today we are going to be chatting about Archenemies by Marissa Meyer. Super cute today. Just a little tidbit before you get started. I do have a book chat for Renegades, which is the first book in the Renegade series, and its sequel is Archenemies, which we will be chatting about today. So if you've not watched that, I'll leave a link down below so you can go check that out before watching this one. And there's not going to be much I can say without spoiling, since it is a sequel in a series. What I can tell you though is that I am so shocked that I've liked this series. I said that in my Renegades book chat. I really did like it. I do think that this book was a little bit slower, just a little bit, but I still think it's great for a second book because we all know that usually the second book in a series is the worst. Let's just be honest. So I was really pleased. I would definitely have to give it a B minus. Yes. I always have difficulty with that because sometimes, like, I could really like a book and it not be written really well, and so I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. And then a book like this where it's like written really well, it's just like not my fave. I just never know how to do that. So we're gonna stay with a B minus on this one. This book follows a prodigy, which means someone that has superpowers, and she is kind of living a double life, and the first book kind of goes over the intro of that, and this is just kind of a continuation. There is a lot of superheroes and villains and just the power dynamics, and they draw a lot of parallels to our current life. If you notice me kind of like looking off camera, it's because the front of my house is right there with like a big window, and it looks like at any moment a tornado is just gonna boop right out the sky. So excuse me if I'm distracted. So that's really all I can say. Great female lead. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go read the book. Go watch my Renegades wrap up, and that's it. Leave if you don't want to be spoiled. Okay, bye. But then come back. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe and then come back. Yes, that's what you should do. Okay, see you later. You've been given the opportunity to leave. Bye now. Okay, let's get into it. So, as we all know, there was a huge twist at the end of Renegades, and we find out that Ace Anarchy himself is still alive. I had to reread that like 3 times to make sure that I wasn't just like for real tripping, like what is going on here. I had no idea. I was like, that I could not have heard that right, because I read/listened to Renegades on Audible and Kindle, and I did the same thing with Archenemies. So I was like, let me read with my own eyeballs and figure out what's going on here, because I must have heard that incorrectly. Well, start our Archenemies, and nope, that was correct. That was not a misprint. What's his name? Ace Anarchy is still alive. And so I watched a couple people's reviews on this, and I think it was Emma Books that pointed out like this whole facade of her living with her uncle, and her uncle like actually being alive and taking care of her is like not a lie. I mean, they don't live together, but I feel like Marissa was like telling us the whole time and we were just being dumb. So there is that. I also want to start out by saying I have no idea how she hasn't already been caught as Nightmare in Renegades, let alone this entire book. I cannot understand. I know they've explained the Nightmare costume, they've explained her insomnia costume and Nova. I don't see how no one has figured out that she's Nightmare. If I spent every day with someone, I would know if they were standing in front of me in a bag. Like, I don't know. Maybe anyways, I cannot get over that. We start out with, of course, her and Adrian's relationship is getting like, I can't say steamy because it's not even close to that, but it's like they're actually acknowledging their feelings for each other, finally, after a trillion years. And so I definitely think that that was like cute or whatever, especially like when she like went over to his house. I mean, she was over there to like steal his dad's stuff, but that's beside the point. It was real cute. I do like that she still has like these like immature, adolescent, inexperienced, pick which one of those words you think fits best, moments, especially when it comes to her romantic life, when it comes to Adrian. And so when they're like seriously like heavy making out watching this movie, I really do think she just instantly put him to sleep because she just was scared of her own feelings. Because the gag of it is that her feelings for Adrian are not an act. Like, this whole thing is like a facade, but that part is not. And so I think she tries to keep a distance as much as possible because she knows, you know what I mean? I loved her job, like, in the artifacts and the storage of all things superhero. I thought that was really cool. To me, it was like almost like being a librarian. I want to know more about the guy that she worked with, because there at the end in that fight scene when she like goes in and she's like, wait, you know who I am and all that, I don't remember them talking about him and his powers when they were introduced, like as Nova. And then Diana proves my point of the fact that like I forget about her. And so then all of a sudden, like, her butterflies start showing up everywhere, and I'm like, Marissa, I see what you did there. I feel like she made me almost forget about her, so that way I was, like, shocked when she showed back up, and it was like, hey. I mean, I know that she was in the medical wing, you know, getting, you know, rest and rehabilitated from her injuries that she sustained when the Sentinel, and Nightmare and all of them got this big fight. That was a mess, because you're having to remember, like, one, Nova and Adrian are people. Then you have to remember that Sketch and Insomnia are characters. Then you have to remember that Nightmare and the Sentinel or whatever are also characters. It's like, okay, there's 6 people in this relationship, and I cannot deal with y'all. Speaking of relationships, the only relationship that I care about in this book is whatchamacallit and whatchamacallit. Ruby and I think his real name is Oscar. Why can't I think of what his superhero name is? I honestly don't know, but that's the only relationship I care about. I should know their names if I care about it. But their relationship is what I'm here for. I really like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Nova and Adrian are like cute or whatever, but that is a relationship I want to see. So when like danger happens and then they like hold hands and then they like, break apart but they don't break hands, it reminded me of the scene in Harry Potter with Hermione and Ron. Almost forgot. Oh, don't come for me, BookTube. I'm so sorry. That just, that's what that reminds me of. And I'm like, yes, that is the kind of love I'm here for. Yes, Marissa. That's what I want. Also, what's up with like the fact that Miss Honeybee or whatever her name is, I felt like she was like real cool in Renegades, and then all of a sudden she's turned to be like a grade A bitch. And I feel like really it's pretty obvious that the only thing that she cares about is like living a life of luxury. And part of me just wants to be like, girl, switch teams. Like, I don't know. I think it's whack as fuck. Just like, I feel like that's the only reason she wants to do any of this. But I have a feeling that Miss Thing has some feelings for Mr. Ace Anarchy. Were any of y'all picking that up? Or was that just me? I feel like I was reading between the lines. Maybe they've talked about it and I missed it. I feel like she wants to be Queen Bee for real, for real. Like, she wants him to be back in power so that way she can be for real Queen Bee, like, on his side, ruling beside him, because she likes him. Like, likes him. You know what I mean? The most heartbreaking part of this entire book, because I did feel like it was slow. That's my only complaint about this book. I did feel like it was a little slow, at least for me. Anything in this entire book that involved Max reached down my throat and somehow grabbed onto my heart and just squeezed. You know? Because first, they are reminded, thanks to Nova, about this medallion that pretty much protects against any kind of poison, evil, whatever. And so Nova's like, hey, you idiots, one, y'all are so self-absorbed that you don't even like realize all the cool shit you have back here. And here is a medallion that one of your like rulers, for lack of better terms, could be wearing to see his own son, but y'all can't stop pretty much looking at yourself in the mirror for 5 seconds to even realize what's going on. Because somebody else said this in one of the reviews and now I can't remember. I don't like Adrian's parents as superheroes, but I love them as parents. And so when the medallion got introduced and Adrian was able to use it to like tattoo himself, which, I mean, I'm sorry, I think his power is like legit the coolest. I really think Nova is like such a cool superhero slash villain, but I think her power is pretty stupid. Like, I think it's cool, like, because it's a superpower, but in the grand scheme of things, like, Sketch's superpower is way cooler than hers is. And so when he figured out how to do the tattoo and then was able to like go hug Max, I was like, oh, too many feelings. I don't like feeling feelings. When he gave it to his dad, because only one of his dads can be in the same room as Max because of him being pretty much like Captain America, I guess. But then his other dad can't. And so when he was able to like go see him and stuff, I thought that was so sweet that it's like, oh my gosh, this man has literally never been able to even like be around his son, really. So sad. Then I feel like I needed a better description of Nova's dress at the gala, ball, whatever they went to. I needed a better description of that. I need to see a rendering, please. You know, I just wanted to see it. So, other than that, when Max decided that he wanted to be the superhero of the day, which he pretty much could be, and then pretty much gets himself killed because we don't know what happens, that had me in suspense. That I think Max knows that Nightmare is Nova. I genuinely do. I think that he knows because he'll be like, why did she want to save me? Why would Nightmare want to save me? That makes no sense. I think he'll know. Also, Frostbite, or whatever her name is, can kick rocks. Speaking of Frostbite, can we talk about this Agent N? Like, this is the peak of their, like, we're all powerful, we don't care about a judicial system. I'm just like, the parallels from this story to the United States government is too much. This whole, like, we're just gonna, like, neutralize people if, one, they don't want to be with us, like, you're either with us or against us. And then also, there's, like, no trial or anything. So then you got Frostbite and her little cronies, and they're just, like, killing and stabbing people with this, like, left, right, and center. What is that about? They've gotten out of control. And that's been Nova's whole thing, is that, like, you have made this society so reliant on you, knowing that really y'all can't do all the stuff that you say you can for the citizens. So now the citizens are like do nothing bitches, and y'all are over here can't even take care of them because y'all wanted to save the day so much that you gave a man a fish instead of teaching them how to fish. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And she was trying to say that the whole time. And so, to me, this whole book was her realizing that the Renegades have a point to what they're doing. It just isn't 100% right. And then I feel like Adrian was doing the same thing. So my hope is for this last book is that they like somehow come together, figure out who each other are, and kind of come to some kind of middle agreement. Because I don't think that the anarchists or the renegades have it totally right. Because I think power goes to people's heads and then they start kind of morphing into one being. One just looks prettier than the other, pretty much. And so I really liked all the parallels that were drawn between that and the injustice. And I don't know, I could go on for like 30 minutes about that, so I'm not going to do that. But other than that, so we're left off with the fact that she finally gets a hold of her uncle's helmet. And then Ruby, Oscar, and the Sentinel, which then they find out is Adrian, catch freaking Ace Anarchy. All these years. 3 kids, which, okay, how old are they? Did I just miss that in the first book? How old are these kids? Are they kids? Are they young adults? I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and reread. If you know how old that group is, like Nightmare and Adrian and Ruby and Oscar and all them, can you comment down below and let me know how old they are? Because I'm lazy and I've already forgotten if it was told or it's supposed to be implied. I'm not sure. But I cannot believe he was caught and he's like so weak and he was like unprotected. What is going on? So I feel like every time in this series we like reach a goal, they're like, nah, just kidding, snatched away. So she finally has this helmet. The problem is there's no head to put inside the helmet. You know? Which makes it useless. And to put the freaking cherry on top, Adrian, after his brother is like literally dying in the hospital and they have no doctors to save him because everybody's a stinking prodigy because they don't make the humans, regular people, do nothing, shows up over at whatchamacallit's house and is like, I need your help finding Nightmare. Sorry. You're talking to her. How has no one figured this out yet? It blows my mind. I just genuinely don't understand. Also, what is the deal with this star? That whole thing was super cute, by the way. It reminded me of Julian and Emma from Dark Artifices by Cassandra Clare. That was very them. Also, the whole Max situation, it's like, come on. Mortal Instruments, anybody? No? I can't say too much about that, but if you know, you know. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, that is all I have to say. I'm super excited. This is the second book that I've read in the Biblio games. The next one will be Crooked Kingdom and Deep Cosmos. I'm super excited about those. This also was my group book because the anti-heroes love up, you know what I mean? And yeah, that is pretty much it. Subscribe down below. I think it's over here. I never know. I guess every single time, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I would greatly appreciate it. It really does mean a lot to me if you would subscribe. You don't have to watch my videos. I would prefer if you did. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Express yourself. That's completely up to you. Doesn't hurt my feelings any. Down below, I will have my Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. If you want to go follow me on there, I'm super active in the book community on Twitter. My Instagram is just kind of everything. My life, books, whatever. It's just a mixture. So if you're interested in me as a person, I don't know why you would be. You can follow me on there. So, that's about it, guys. I need to get back to reading because I will not be the suckiest person on my team this Biblio games. I won't do it. I will do you justice, anti-heroes. I will. Alright. Until next time, guys. Don't forget to do what you dig. Bye, guys.